He's one of the Food Network's most versatile stars.
Shazam.
Celebrity chef Geoffrey Zakarian does it all.
Damn, I'm good.
Besides serving as a judge on a slew of hit shows from Chopped to Cutthroat Kitchen, he also won The Next Iron Chef as a contestant. And in 2016, Zakarian became the host of the brand new series, Cooks vs. Cons.
You can't be a cook because that pan's too hot, bro.
For more than 30 years, Zakarian has been making his mark on modern American cuisine. And it all began back in the early 80s with an internship in Paris.
When I came back to the States, I went to cooking school. And I came out of cooking school and I went right away to a restaurant called Le Cirque. And I started experimenting with different things that I saw in France. And one of them was a grapefruit avocado salad. And I had it in Paris in about 1981 at a bistro called Voltaire, right on the River Seine. Beautiful place. So this is a course that is near and dear to me. It's on my new menu, the Georgie and Beverly Hills, for breakfast and lunch. This recipe has always inspired me. What you start with is a very cold, very sweet grapefruit, and it's bathed in a vinaigrette, a little chili, a little heat. And then you go to a salted, lightly salted avocado that's very ripe, that has this mayonnaise-y, smooth, velvety texture. And the combination of that velvety, mayonnaise-y texture and that cold, sweet, slightly spicy grapefruit is just magical. Every time I look at it, every time I taste it, go back to Paris. What's wrong with that?
Zakarian currently runs 6 successful restaurants and has published 2 mouth-watering cookbooks. Today, he is inviting us into his home to show us what he really cooks for dinner.
Welcome to my kitchen. We're here in Midtown Manhattan, where I live. And you know, anyone who knows Manhattan knows it's a small island with small apartments. So you have to be very efficient. However, I've managed to cram a whole lot of stuff in a very small space. Come, let me show you. So, very important, the wine cooler. You must have a nice wine cooler. You know, you gotta keep your wines at 59 degrees, both red and white. Drawers are very important in Manhattan apartments because you don't have a lot of shelf space, so you need drawers. So all the pots are right at my disposal on the bottom. As you can see, the plates are here. So it's very easy to cook and set a table in a small amount of space. In my family, we eat a lot at breakfast, so I'm a big believer in a huge breakfast because it really gets your head started, especially for the children. So one of the things we love to have is homemade scones. I have a little thing of homemade scones here. And when we don't finish them up, they're here to nibble on all day because tell me you don't want to just go over and grab one of those edges and eat it. I'm gonna do that right now. You put these special cabinets in that open up where you can put all your glassware, your china, and all the entertaining things you need to throw the perfect party. You're nothing and you're nobody unless you have a perfect pantry, because that's where everything starts. Before you go shopping and filling up the refrigerator, you're gonna have to have your pantry full, especially my favorite, Nutella. Are you ready to go to see the fridge? All right, the refrigerator is stocked. I tend not to put too much in the fridge. It's all fresh. I shop twice a day, sometimes once a day, but usually twice a day. But I keep the basics: whole milk, whole yogurt, good wine, fresh juices, a lot of herbs, tons of mustards, and then life is just a bowl of cherries. Let's do some cooking. Today we are making gazpacho, tomato gazpacho with a grilled cheese sandwich. Sounds simple, and believe it or not, it actually is. Here we go. So, what you need is the freshest ingredients you can possibly find. They're very ripe. So what we have here, I'm just gonna show you, this is a very simple recipe. All you need is a blender and these ingredients, and basically it's called a dump and stir. We're gonna dump everything into this blender and turn the button on and stir it together. That's this recipe. Let's blend. Now you've noticed it's turned a little pink. That's because of the air we whipped into it. Once you settle down in the refrigerator for a few hours, it'll go back to a deeper red color. So now, most importantly, you want to taste to make sure the seasoning's there. We're going to put a little olive oil. To me, it's perfect. See how smooth it is? Okay, we have our gazpacho. It's got to go in the fridge at least 3 or 4 hours. Get nice and cold. All right, now the mother of all sandwiches. Now it's time to make the grilled cheese. You can use whatever bread you like, white, thick, potato bread, but I think brioche has that extra special buttery, eggy flavor that I love. Okay, first of all, we're gonna slice off 2 pieces. Be generous in your slices. This is not a low-calorie dish. I just cut it a couple of, probably almost an inch thick like that. I'm gonna put that aside. Very important, soft butter. We can butter the outside of the bread. As then put this, you have to be generous with the butter. And then a little salt and pepper. I know, salt and pepper and cheese. Yes, makes everything taste better. And then what I like to do is put this directly on the pan, on the oven, butter side down. And I like to use 2 kinds of cheeses, Gruyere as well as Swiss. Sometimes you use white Monterey Jack, whatever cheese you like, but I like Swiss, Gruyere, cheddar, any combination like that. And make sure you have a very good amount of cheese. And the reason why I open face it is because what happens is the cheese will melt quicker, the toast will get nice and perfectly caramelized, and then when it goes in the oven to bake, it really gets the cheese melty. Into the oven. All right, we have our soup in our bowl. We chilled our bowl, we put some soup inside. Oh, looks delicious. We are waiting for our sandwich. And on top of this soup, we're gonna garnish this soup with a little bit of red onion, some cucumber, some tomato, just to give it a nice crunchy texture. So there's a smooth soup, but you always want to bite. You always want some sort of contrast in texture. There you go, let's go check our sandwich. Should be nice and melting and gorgeous in the oven. Oh, look at that. So we're gonna take one side out, put it on the cutting board, and take the other side out, and flip it right on top. And there you have a beautiful grilled cheese sandwich. Let's get the sound effect. You ready? You have guilt and no guilt. This is like a healthy meal, right? You have a little tomato vinaigrette, then you have this, very balanced. Usually you'd have a hot grilled cheese and a tomato soup. It's sort of like old-fashioned. But I think that grilled cheese with something cold is much more interesting. Look at that. Oh. That's a grilled cheese sandwich. Real cheese, real butter, real bread, real love.